at that precious face, Heather.
Now you got me crying.
Okay, like we're just going to jump right in because I have to ask you the question that I love to ask every single time is, can you believe we're having this conversation and that you're holding this girl?
No, this is everything. Dreams come true. Miracles.
Wow. I'm really glad I have waterproof mascara on right now because I knew this was going to be a big one.
Yeah. It's
wow. She's so precious.
She's one of our people who helped bring you here. She gave me some really powerful things to help me get to you.
Oh my goodness, woman. Well, so why don't you start off, babe, telling us a little bit about how you found yourself on this journey, and we'll start there.
Absolutely. I'm going to say, that's really good. Do you mind, Roseanne, if I just hand her over so we can go ahead and...
No, please. This is your show, baby girl.
Okay.
And this
say
baby girl.
Emily. Say bye, Roseanne. Bye, Emily.
Bye, Emily. Bye, sweetheart. Oh, my gosh. Go to daddy.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, okay. Yes. Just think about how good it felt to even say that.
Roseanne, I can't
you gotta hand her off.
I can't tell you the joy, the love, the just instant of, it's still like, you have to still pinch me, Roseanne. Like, seriously, it's like, this happened. And this is truly, I keep giving you so much credit, I was looking back at my notes today. I kept a journal through our, when I did the 12-week program. And I just can't tell you, I look back and I'm like, Heather, I can do this. Heather, I can do this. And it was just like, I had a little village around me, but it was every step. It's unbelievable. I can't say enough.
Yeah, it's extraordinary because it's funny. Asher's turning 7 on Sunday, and I was having kind of a similar moment when I was thinking. I was down and watching him in the pool with he has a Rottweiler puppy who's like twice his size, and I was like. It just made me laugh because I'm like, this is my life. Like, I remember those days. And you remember those days.
Yeah. Yes.
Pre-Emily. So share a little bit about how you found yourself on this journey and then ultimately how we met.
Sure, absolutely. So the journey, it started before I even met David. I did go ahead and look at some fertility, doing it on my own. And then David came along, which was in 2019 or 2018. 2019, we got engaged. And really then we were always practicing, always knowing. But then really 2019, when things weren't coming along, I was like, it's time to go meet the fertility doctors. And the first one we met, Roseanne, was like, no way, you're 41. There's no way, It's like, yes. So I was like, nope, we're gonna go to another.
At 41, Heather?
41. This guy was, So I was like, no, this is, so yes. So we went for a different doctor, Dr. Check, who was a gem for us, and the nurses and the whole team around them, they're just doctors. So there's just a whole team that was just so embracing. At the same time, I think I also had some, lack of a better word, trauma. Maybe it is trauma. I think there's trauma because I was like, maybe that is so true. I'm 41. I can't do this. This is something I can't do. So that's how you came along. Actually, COVID hit, out of fairness. So they kind of put things in a slower motion because we couldn't get into the point, they weren't in person. There was the shutdown and all that. But when I met you, it was 2022. And it was like that summer. And I was like, I got to really change my mindset. And just finding you brought so much clarity. And so much to have a group of women to go to on a Saturday morning, it just was like listening. And one thing you brought to me one time, and it really hit me, was you said to me, you're worthy of this, Heather. I think I got reached a point that I wasn't worthy. And I was like, wait, I am worthy of this. I am. It's good. And something in there, and I go back to my notes all the time, like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to dismiss that doctor who said you can't at this age without, all these other reasons. And it's okay to just circular self around the people who are going to cheer you on. Like I had to kind of mesh out some of those people that were kind of like, wait, you're really going to do this? Like now, fast forward, I was now 43. I guess I was 44 because I'm 47 now. So I was 47 when I had Emily. I got pregnant at 46. So, it was a good 3 to 4 year true journey of it. And I mean, the amount of doctor appointments at all that point. But it's just, Roseanne, I can't tell you. I can't even put it in words. It's just so much. Some of it, I think I've like, oh my gosh, I'm here. That seems so long ago. But then when we talk now, I'm like, oh, that was yesterday in some ways, just what you're saying about your son being 7 now. And it's extraordinary. Every time I look at her, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just can't believe it. Can't believe it. So happy.
Yeah. Well, so tell us a little bit. I mean, did you have a diagnosis, or other than your age, is that all they were throwing in your face?
And I did have endometriosis. So I did have the endometriosis going on. So they thought, and was not producing a lot of follicle. Like I was very low AMH, and they were like, they were definitely concerned. I was miscarriaging a lot. So I was able to get pregnant, but I was miscarriaging. So that was a big thing. And then they just really try to change my protocol a little, like really just change some of the protocols. I was on progesterone to 20 weeks, which I guess is not which is not my, once they switched me over at, I guess it was 12 weeks when they switched me over to a regular OB. She's like, really? And I was like, they work together. At first my OB is like, really? But the doctor checks like, no, keep her on 20 till 20 weeks because of her high incidence of miscarriaging. And for whatever, it's unbelievable. I mean, we're doing shots and all that, and that helped for whatever, that helped me. The progesterone shots really kept me going till 20 weeks. Once I got to that 20 weeks, I did have a little bit of a scare with her where my lining got too thin. And I don't know what that was associated with, but that could have been with, I don't know. They also say it could have been because of my endometriosis in the past. There's so many things they were saying, but, and I ended up going in for a surgery to just stitch me. And then that was another, again, and Rosanna, to be honest, I went back to my book and read all your notes and told myself, don't give up on this. Don't give up. Like it was, yeah. The 20-week mark was like, okay, and it happened so fast. I was in for a doctor's appointment. I mean, they were watching me so closely. And they said, you're going down to, I'm in the Philly area. And they put me into the top area of Jefferson that does this surgery. And there I was that afternoon. And next day, they're like, you're good. You're going to just take it slow. And you are so, but that was, I took that book with me that you took the notes and took it to the hospital that night. And I read through like, Heather, the power of, prayer, power of a group of women and just reading those notes of I am worthy. I am able to, I can do this. And so we delivered. Wow. I did have a C-section at almost 38 weeks. It was like 37, 6 days. It was just the way it was, the way the schedule worked. And she was healthy. So,
it's unbelievable to me, Heather, because it's like, there's so many of us that find ourselves on this journey. Cause it used to be 1 in 8. Now it's 1 in 5. And the numbers are staggering, and nobody's really talking about this in a way that allows women to really express that devastation. But at the same time, because two things can be true. You probably heard me say that all the time. Two things can be true at the same time. Like you can be devastated, but you can also make a decision. Correct. And that's one of the things that fascinated me most about you, Heather, is like you knew you wanted something more. You knew that you didn't want to be defined by the past. You had a vision for your life. So what was it that made you want to look at the mindset piece? Because it would have, look, with the history of miscarriage that you had, the low AMH, the endo, and a doctor telling you, it still baffles me, Heather, that there are medical professionals out there that treat a woman's dream like it can just be thrown away. Like it's just it's a new bag or something like that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like what, like we've lost some humanity there. So anyway, my question really is, what was the impetus for you to even look at this piece? Because on paper, like, your fertility looked a little janky, girl. Like, what pulled you up and made you want to even look at this?
I mean, definitely you're like the vision board I kept a vision board. I kept myself with the mindset of like, this is what I want. And I had a partner, David, who was like, I'm there for you. Like, whatever you need. I had family members, very close girlfriends in the same age range and going through some, and did have children. They had some children, but they were like, Heather, this is what you want. This was always what I wanted. And I guess I kept pushing that forward. I mean, even your pink little token you sent us, I forgot, that's another piece. I took it to me when I went for the surgery and I stuck it, and it still sits in my purse. It went with everything where I went everywhere. But that purse, I mean, yep, my notebook and that pink, and I still carry that. But that did go in the surgery in my 20s. I know I went in for that, and it just always stayed with me. What's to say? It just stayed with me, and it kept me going. Yes, it's just. I'm sorry, I'm like a little lost with words because it's just so powerful that just having a village, a community that even though we never met, like just that face to face or had the opportunity of the group of the women to ever like give hugs or like, but just having that form and that space and just brought me, it gave me a sense of like grounding. It really gave me a grounding to keep moving forward and keep like, it's powerful.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the interesting thing about you too, like as a super educated woman, like really clear about what she wants, you waited for the right man. What was it like for you to really say yes to yourself? Because that's kind of a theme here that you're raising is like, so many of us we're used to no, right? Like people telling us no. And it had to have taken a lot of strength for you to start saying yes. Like, what was that like?
Scary at moments, I will say. It was scary because I was like, whoa, this is not like me. And it was actually saying no to things I didn't need to do anymore. So it's kind of that opposite effect too.
Yes. Ooh, say more about that. I think there's some wisdom in that.
Sure, yes, I can do that. Look, and I love the work I do. I'm a teacher. I'm very involved in some nonprofit organizations, but I found myself always saying, yes, sure, I can do that. And there I was like, wait, I need to say no. So it's kind of that kind of change of like, I got to set some boundaries for myself. This is my goal right now. And this is where I am, and it's okay. So saying yes to, yes, I want to have a baby. Yes, I need to, look at every option, look at, find that doctor that was going to be the right fit for me. All those things, it was yes. But then I also, that being said, had to say no to other things and set some boundaries for myself. And that has really helped me, I think, as becoming a mother too. Like it's a shift. It's a shift, and it's a good shift. It's a little uncomfortable, Roseanne, sometimes because I am a people pleaser. I am, I do get fulfillment. I'll do my nonprofit and my teaching, but there's also just finding boundaries and finding times where it's okay. It's okay to say no.
Right. Well, and having boundaries doesn't mean you somehow become this wild diva that like hates everybody, right? But it's having the yeses and nos really be right for you.
Correct.
And making space. I mean, and so what was it like, when you made it past the 20 weeks and you had that surgery, like, was there a moment when you said, this is my life? Like, holy cow, like this really is my life.
It really hit me after the 20, I guess it was the 20. It was like after the 20 weeks. It really was at the 30. When I got to the 30, I was like, okay, this is, because there was those moments, Roseanne, I had to keep myself every time I went to that doctor's appointment. I mean, they had me in 3-4 times a week. And that's how closely. So it was very closely watched. And I appreciated that. I mean, I do, because I kind of but it also gave me a sense of like, there is that anxiety around that, and how do you manage that anxiety, and also how do you keep that. So a lot of journaling, a lot of like, the mindset of, I got this, she is coming. And we did learn early on what the gender, so I knew it was, it was a girl. So I was like always saying, we got this girl. I would have these little, mantras. And I really, really embracing it. It was just, I think every step of the way I did. I honestly have to say, I think every time I could embrace it. But it was those steps of like, it was a lot. I won't say that, Roseanne. It was a lot, like the amount, and that did bring on anxiety, but keeping myself, I guess the words of wisdom is just taking it day by day, keeping the vision of having her come. Like I could vision her. I could have this vision of like, she is going to come, and then just taking the day by day so I could keep myself grounded with it. So if that's
I think that's so it's such a powerful message to the women listening, is like, take it one day at a time, because we put so much pressure on ourselves to know the next 75 steps. Like but it's like, when you're living a journey of unknown duration, you don't really have to know how. And you probably remember me saying things like that, like, Heather, you don't have to know how is none of your business. Like, this is going to be an unfolding, but what it takes is you continuing to move forward. Just take the next right step. That's all but we get conditioned to believe that we have to, if we don't know all of the steps, then we don't know what we're doing. But I'm really curious, because a lot of women go into freak out about being a quote unquote older mom. And I just turned 50, and I couldn't be happier being a mom. Like, I'm just like, I haven't even gotten to my prime, people. But like, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're 47, you have, she's not like a newborn, but she's a baby, like, let's bust some myths here, because I really,
Roseanne, I love it.
Yeah. Take it away, girl.
It's funny, because I definitely got caught in that a little bit when I was starting the journey. Like when I did get, was going through the journey of this, I'm like, wait, am I too old? I was like, what am I saying? Like, I am very active. I'm very healthy. Like, no, like this is, and I'm even more a better version of myself than I would have been in my 30s. Like, even in my 20s, like, it's just been, and I'm excited for it. Like, here, I'm looking at this end of it. I really only have maybe 10 years left in my career. I can retire. And then I have this other time where I can be like, yes, you got it. And I'm just so excited by that. David and I talk about that all the time. We're like, we'll be able to travel. Like, we'll travel still during this time, but we'll do so much more traveling. Take Emily with us. Like, show her the world. Show her, like, what a wonderful opportunity for us to have it on the flip side of things, if that makes sense. But I feel so much more grounded than I would have been probably.
I know, because I'm living it right now. Like, when we were on the book tour, like on the Fearlessly Fertile Live World Tour, we took Asher with us, and he's 6, turning 7.
Yes.
But I was like, this is, what are we going to do in our 50s, like in 60s and beyond? What, get a tight perm and start taking tours around like we're not hanging it up, Heather. We're just freaking getting started. Like,
that's exactly right.
It's like think about it this way. And I want to hear what you think about this, but I'm like, I've never been more personally mature. I've never been more spiritually mature, mature in my work. Like, this is the perfect time to be mothering. Like, I know that like a lot of our friends, like, their kids are in college, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather be in this place. Like, I want to live my life with my son. Like, I don't see my son as a distraction from my life. He's part of my life. And just like you're saying, if you're active and excited and living your life, like, it's a great time. What do you think?
Roseanne, that's exactly. I mean, it's just never more than I can say of. There's not. I don't feel there's going to be as much distractions. I am very secure within my career. I'm very, I know who my friends and friends and family are. Like, it's just that circle that it's there, and just that it's, you nailed it. Like, you nailed it. What you're saying, exactly what I'm feeling.
And think about how you are going to mother this girl, having loved yourself enough to take a stand for her. Like, I think that's so big. Like, I think that's a part of this that a lot of people miss. Like, it's a bit of a nuance, but it's actually really important. I mean, think about like how you're going to mother her, having gone through what you went through to have her. What are your thoughts on that?
I can't wait. I think it's going to, even now knowing, like just showing her different little things around when we're just exploring in our neighborhood or exploring out to different, there's just this sense of like, I'm like, check this out, Emily. This is great. Just so much. People keep saying that Emily is so content. And I do think there's something to be said about that, Roseanne, because I think David and I are so content. And I think that is being portrayed to her. I don't know, that's just my spiritual, I just see this content little baby. And she just, what you saw today, she smiles. She smiles all the time. Don't get me, she's a typical baby where she'll cry. You have those moments, but she just is content. And everyone just says that. And strangers, like she's just content. And it's,
she's the right baby
for you. I do think it speaks to our age and where we are in our lives. I do, because I think we ourselves are content where we are. So.
Well, and yeah, I mean, and you're not looking at checking out anytime soon, girl. Like, remember the agreement that all of my ladies have? We're all going to live to 130. We're going to be rich.
Exactly.
We're going to be beautiful.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not sweating having an infant, like at this age. Like, it's just, but I really appreciate you sharing your perspective, because I think so many women out there hand over their power to a diagnosis.
Correct.
And you are living proof that you can take that piece of information, but not make it a verdict. I mean, think of it. It is just, I'm so impressed by you and the courage and the decisiveness in you, like to keep going with the dream.
Thank you. It's just so much joy and so much. And I go back again. Thank you. I mean, I seriously thank you for it's just the program, what you put in place for so many, for the women and individually me. It was just so impactful and just so. And actually, a lot of this, not actually, the stuff will continue to impact me as I go through, because it just taught, it just gave me other tools to support through my journey of life. Like, it really is. It's beautiful. So.
Well, you make it easy, Heather, because you actually implement the teaching. Like, I never had to worry about you. Like, you go and apply what you learn. So what's the message that you would have for the women listening? Like, if there were a couple things that you would want them, pieces of wisdom, I like to think of these things as bits of generosity. Like, if you think about the woman you were so many years ago before Emily got here, like, what would you want that woman who just got told at 41 that there was no hope for her, and maybe she has a history of miscarriage and it looks like the dream might not happen? Like, what would you want a woman like her to know?
Don't give up. Keep pushing and keep asking the questions. Keep finding the people the people around you to make sure that you get to the place that you want to go with having the baby. Like, don't give up. It does not, the age is just a number. It doesn't matter the age. Please don't give up. Just keep yourself, as I said, take a day at a time, but keep that vision that you're going to have that little baby in your arms. But don't give up, because it's the most beautiful, beautiful miracle that could ever happen.
Wow. Thank you for that, Heather. And you know what? You absolutely deserve a miracle. And I hope, like, my sincere prayer for you is that you never forget how powerful you are.
Thank you.
You beat every like obstacle, and you just kept saying yes to the dream, and you're here today. Thank you so much, Heather. And I'm so happy for you. So go hug Emily for me. Go hug Dave for me.
I will. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you. And everything. Blessings, many blessings. Thank you.
You're so welcome, woman. Sending you guys so much love, and thank you for so generously sharing your story.
Absolutely. Take care. Okay.
Love this episode of the Fearlessly Fertile podcast? Subscribe now and leave an awesome review. Remember, the desire in your heart to be a mom is there because it was meant for you. When it comes to your dreams, keep saying hell yes.